Today, I'm going to talk about a term called VUCA. Some of you may have heard of this term. It's an acronym and it stands for a business environment, a type of business environment where we have a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of complexity, and a lot of ambiguity. And for most businesses today, the clients we're working with for sure, they're experiencing a level of VUCA that they haven't seen in over a decade. And this is my fourth kind of big business downturn since I've been working in business as an executive and as an owner. And this kind of environment, I think of it as it kind of changes everything. Like the way we normally do business won't work anymore. It's the things that worked yesterday are no longer working today. And the change is so fast. That's the volatility part, right? I think that not only are we experiencing a lot of economic changes, but it all got exacerbated by the pandemic. So we have clients that benefited some from the pandemic in that online sales went up. Now that the economy has turned down and all kinds of things have happened in the external environment, lots of clients now are experiencing a extremely severe drop in revenue, extremely severe drop in revenue. That's major volatility. It's highly uncertain when it'll come back. And when it comes back, we don't know if it's going to be the same kind of revenue. Like this is an environment where everything's changing. Consumer habits are changing. What people think is important is changing. Where they have to spend their money and their time is changing. So the uncertainty for what's going to be next is huge. One of the things that adds to the uncertainty, it kind of goes right into complexity, is that for most businesses, technology is having a giant impact and making things more complex. For so many businesses that are online, for example, the online businesses, the advertising environment has become a lot more complex. Well, even for regular businesses, right? And they're going to advertise online. Originally, there was just like Google for online. Then, we got Facebook. We had Google and Facebook. Now there are so many social platforms. There are there's not just Google, there's other search engines that people actually do use some. There is oh gosh, not only is there TV, there's cable stations, there are all these streaming platforms. It's just the environment has become a ton more complex. It's not like you can shoot one thing and it's, perfectly tailored for 50 different outlets. When you used to be able to just put it on, NBC or CBS and you were done. So the complexity is huge. And then the ambiguity, I think of this ambiguity as the big confidence killer, because the ambiguity is that you don't know if the results are strong or weak. You don't know if they're good or bad, because just because you get a result that's down, that's less than expected, it could be that you actually have performed really well. And if you hadn't, let's say you're down 20% in a promotion that you expected to be 20% higher. Okay. What we don't know is if we hadn't worked so hard, if we hadn't made some changes that we made, maybe we'd be down 40%. Maybe down 20 is actually quite good in this environment. So this ambiguity is so hard because goal achievement becomes really difficult. It's even hard to set goals. We are not positive what a good job looks like in this environment. Okay, so in this kind of environment, the big question is, well, what the heck do you do? What should business owners and leaders do differently? And the big thing that we need to do differently is to prioritize movement and learning over goal achievement. It's just so important. If you work your heart out for the goal achievement, you can spend way too much resources and completely miss the goal instead of starting to kind of learn and understand what will work in this environment, because that's the place to start with. We don't know. We don't know what's going to work in this environment, and we don't know where the environment is heading. We don't know where tomorrow's opportunities are going to be. And that's why I want to take a moment and talk about business cycles. This is how I think of business. Of course, this is a simple drawing of it, but business, I have never worked with a business that went more than a decade without having a significant or a meaningful downturn in it, right? Okay. So when we are in this part where a particular industry or the economy is really growing, it's great because the rising tide kind of raises all boats. It's hard to mess up enough to kill yourself in this kind of environment. It's like you get to set goals, you achieve them, your year-over-year growth is fantastic. You get all used to the fact that you're, winners. Okay. And then you get a time like this where the tide is falling, and the tide is absolutely bringing, everybody down. We definitely have perfectionists out there who think that they can avoid this downturn, but I haven't met one yet who actually could totally avoid this downturn. Okay, so what we're going for in a downturn like this that we're in right now is that we get stabilized. That's the first thing we're going for, is to stabilize so that we stop falling off the cliff, right? We stop the downward acceleration. And when we get a little bit more stabilized, then we are really wanting to look towards the future, because here's the thing I should have said a second ago. When we're in this kind of environment, it feels like the world is over, like it's never going to come back. But what we know is another upcycle is coming. For sure it's coming. We just don't know when. But what we do know is we have to be around to catch it. It's like, in the water metaphor, it's like, if we want to catch the big wave, we have to be in the water when it happens. And so this is the part that we need to endure, that we need to get through, that we need to prepare ourselves to spot and ride this new wave. So when we're here, we know that the business is going to be very different. First, we want to stop the acceleration down, and then to bridge over, we want to test things. We want to do a lot of testing. What we don't want to do is slide all the way down to the bottom. When we have clients, when I've worked with clients in the past who just couldn't stop this down cycle, who couldn't stop the acceleration, if you get all the way to the bottom, it's pretty hard to stay in business. It just is. So we want you to stop that acceleration, and then you start to bridge over for what's going to be the new opportunities. We try to let go of old stuff as much as possible and test and iterate, right? Test, learn, iterate for what is going to be the things that are working now, that we can see hold some opportunity for the future. And as we're doing that, we are looking to verify the new opportunity. Because when you're in business in a time like this, you are truly building for the future. Because the old way, the past, it's over. Okay, maybe it's not like over overnight, but you're here. It's getting over pretty fast. Things are going to be very different in the future. And so we want to start figuring that out now. It's a time where we need to survive, but we also need to be testing, learning, doing different things, lowering the risk so we can try more things to see what gets traction so that we can get this new opportunity going. And I started this this 10-minute talk with talking about VUCA, right? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. We are in that kind of environment right now. And we are, the thing about all that stuff is it holds the opportunity for the future. And we want your business to be one of the ones that really is able to survive this and, get a, bridge across so that you are one of the big beneficiaries of the new opportunities. And that's what took me more than 10 years to learn. I think I needed to go through a couple down cycles to realize it really worked like this. And I hope you get a great takeaway for your own business today. To learn more about this episode's topic, pick up a copy of my book, The People Part, at your favorite book retailer or at anniehymanpratt.com.